How's it going, NPA fans? Lynx Forte here, bringing you week 9 of the rundown. Last week, Levo was out on a date, basically, and he's done with his week-long exploration, and he is back joining us. Levo, how are you doing?
Man, you know, sometimes it's really good to go on dates. You know, it's really good to go on dates sometimes, man. Just get you feeling good again. Take care of some stuff. But anyway, that's not very important right here, guys. What we need to talk about right now is the importance of the season as it comes to the tail. We're getting that's that crucial point in the season where you gotta break some biscuits or basically give up and die. And right now, it's kind of the time to fly because it's getting ready to get hot, heavy, and eventually we're going to start breaking some levees, backs, and also. Can I say booty cracks? Booty cracks is also a word on here. Okay, so we're going to pop it, lock it, and drop it. Gentlemen, this is the rundown. We're going to show you exactly what's going on in the week's matchups. I'm hyped. I'm back. Let's get something going and possibly make sure that we don't make this a 2-hour video like we usually do, Lynxy.
Yeah, we don't need that tonight.
Exactly. I mean, because it can easily happen.
It normally does. Like what? It's happened 3 times already or something like that?
Pretty much. Let's get started, though. No 2 hours.
Yeah, we're just going to jump right into this, guys. So, our first matchup here, we have the Iowa Luchas and the Leicester City Pokemon Club. I always forget T-Train's team name. Like, I think I always say
Leicester City Pokemon Club. You got it right. You had it right.
Okay. All right, cool.
Now, I will tell you this. I believe that Guatemala has a better chance of winning the World Cup than Iowa has a chance of winning this matchup against T-Train. I'm throwing it out there right there. I'm throwing it out right there. Guatemala has a better chance of winning the World Cup than Iowa has a chance of winning this matchup. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't follow soccer at all, Guatemala sucks. They're about as bad as I am at trying to bake cookies. All right, you know what I'm saying right now. This is like a bad matchup right now, right out the gate. T-Train is what we call domination and a half. He basically gets in there, has a diversified team that does not rely on one particular setup situation. Mon, he has the Omega Force as far as what you have to over prep for with the Magirna. He makes you just look at it, and say, nah, he ain't gonna do that against me. And you know what he does against you? He drops the Porygon 2 on your face, and well, as the Manectric. Manetric's been a very key component for his roster, and so is his Porygon 2. Basically, getting to operate off of the heat that Magirna operates off under. So Magirna operates under the heat, has a hard time really getting going, but at the same time, Magirna, by being that centralizing force, does get the job done. And to be honest with you, a choice Scarf Manectric in this matchup could potentially put in work. Remember, Bradioactive does have, if I remember correctly, 4 water types on his roster, and that's really a big issue. One of them being an X4. So Pelipper takes a Volt Switch, boom, it's game over for that Pelipper. It's a big deal going forward, guys. And this could be really the big tone setter for the matchup. I think Manectric pulls out 1 kill, doesn't go off. But in this matchup right here, Bradioactive is going to have his biscuits cooked.
So, yeah, you mentioned the Manectric, and I don't think Brady brings more than 1 water type in this battle. I think the only water type he brings in this battle is Keldeo. Why? Because Keldeo is a great Pokemon just by itself. So it's going to be something like Keldeo and Thunderous Eye. Not necessarily to stop Manectric, but Thunderous Eye can pretty much stop Manectric in its tracks. But the thing is, T-Train has everything else going for him. He has Serperior, which can come in. As you mentioned, he has the Magirna. He has Sneasel if he needs it to. I mean, Sneasel still outspeeds Thunderous Eye. If he wants to bring a Choice Band, he just drops some Icicle Crashes, or he can drop Ice Shards and run.
He can do that with Donphan as well.
Donphan as well, yeah. So I mean, he just has the skill to do it, and he has the team to do it. Like, this team 100% favors T-Train. Now, let's just mention the issue T-Train is at all season, though, and that's been he's a hacks magnet. So we can't just say, well, like normally you can't predict hacks. We just go in and say, okay, this is the matchup, and this is who we think is going to win. The issue is with T-Train, we have to sit here and think about, is he going to get hacks, and how much is he going to get hacks?
And to be honest with you, his 1 loss of the season did revolve around a severe hacks play here or there. But in general, he's been able to, just so you know, pull through insane stupidity hacks to the point where you're just sitting there and you're wondering if RNG this is like trying to pwn him frequently while he plays. Like T-Train plays on chaos mode and tries to basically win through that. And you know what he does? He wins most of his games, even playing through chaos mode.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that we have to sit here and look at and say, will the hacks overcome him yet again? Because it happened right before his bye week against Jodor.
Right.
So
and this is the big question right here again: is just what is that going to do, and who would actually be the hacks puller on the radioactive side? And really, when it comes down to it, I mean, outside of possibly, you say Keldeo could very well be it. If he wants to bring some fancy Registeel set, that could be a big issue also if it has some kind of hacks play in there. But we're going to have to see how this all plays out. It's going to be really interesting, but as far as a straight-up heads-up fight, Radioactive gets the bite.
Yeah, he takes the L in this one.
Exactly. And the analysts tend to agree right here. Only one of our analysts decided to go in favor of Iowa in this matchup.
I think he's favoring the hacks.
He's favoring the hacks. Because, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That it is.
All right.
So next matchup here, we have the Philadelphia Braviers and the Orlando Magikarp.
Well, here we have Chris Cobain. I almost said Kurt Cobain, man. Rest in peace, grunge music. Look, this guy has essentially been just a one-man wrecking show as far as being able to get his team operational in and out of the weeks. He's been able to first off represent the Azelf very hard each and every week. By the way, love the Azelf play. Holla at your boy, Azelf for life. Yeah. Whenever we were talking a couple weeks ago, you're talking about Kaffa Grigas. You're like, no, he ain't gonna bring Kaffa Grigas.
Yeah,
and guess what he did that?
I was proven wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Levo knows stuff. Levo knows stuff. That's right. I'm that guy right now. And you know what, guys? Here's the thing, man, is that he's still got mons on his roster that he has not had the opportunity to utilize. And I'm excited to see which ones could actually pop up in this matchup this week. He is going up against the Orlando team. Remember, the Orlando team does have a bit of a situation they've had all season long. They were exposed to ice attacks. So what Pokemon are going to be able to pop in and be able to pop some ice moves in there? Believe it or not, Empoleon is going to probably be your player hater, as well as possibly an Azelf, a physical Azelf. We're going to see physical Azelf with Ice Punch, and we're going to see Empoleon rocking Ice Beam. I guarantee you we're going to see those two in play right this week in this matchup. It's going to be epic. I feel like Kurt Cobain's going to make some shiznickles pop. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this works.
You called him Kurt Cobain again.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that, okay? Listen, Cobain, you know why I'm doing this, man. I respect you. I had a long day.
He's just getting off a week-long date.
Yeah. So so whenever I'm thinking of Cobain, you know what Cobain comes to mind. But that's what I'm seeing right there. I'm seeing Empoleon with Ice Beam. I'm seeing Azelf with Ice Punch, and I'm seeing from this point forward his support roster is going to be very diversified, very hard to predict. It's going to be a hard situation for the Orlando team to get through. Cobain's prep's been on point. He has a great front office. I see Cobain winning this by a pretty stout margin.
About a 4-0 sounds right?
About a 4-3-0, one of those two.
4-3? Okay, yeah. I agree with you 100% on that. Like, honestly, I really don't have much else to add. You were saying something about maybe one of the two Pokemon, which would be Swellow and Leafeon, who haven't come yet. I could see possibly Swellow, maybe a weird Choice Specs variant with like Boom Burst and Heat Wave.
Right, Leafeon is out of the play this week. There's just too many flying Pokemon on his roster.
Yeah, Leafeon doesn't come this week, but I think the Swallow has an opportunity with its high speed. It doesn't have the greatest special attack stat. That's why I was saying Choice Specs, just to click Boom Burst, and then the Heat Wave there for the Magneton if that were to come, although he hasn't brought it all season.
Right.
Just like he brought the Kofagrigus a couple weeks ago, he could bring Swallow here. It's a weird bring, but it's a good bring in my opinion.
It's one of those that would definitely throw the guy off the rocker. So if you had the right kind of setup right there, it definitely can shatter the mold, get your guy to to once again understand that you don't get to usage prep me.
Right.
It's very helpful. It's very helpful.
Yeah, and
I
just don't see Chris Cobain losing this battle. I mean, unless it's hacks like we were talking with T-Train, I don't see him losing this one.
It's going to be a very wild battle. I expect definitely Cobain. I like Cobain to watch Cobain because he definitely has a presence offense play. You know, in terms of what I'm trying to say right there. He likes to make sure that there is consistent damage being submerged against his opponent. He's not going for the slow play. He's not going for the drop this, drop that, go this, go that. He's making sure that there's consistent damage against his opponent, and I think that's usually a great winning strategy. If you can find a way to keep your damage per turn high, it usually results in a win. Cobain has got this one in the biggity bag.
And it is a full sweep for the analyst, so
Cobain, don't fail us.
I do just want to point out, though, the battle video as the point of us recording this hasn't gone up yet because there was a delay in it, but Choice Specs did pull off the upset against Kelly last week, so it's possible. Just something maybe we're not seeing, but you have to put that out there that he pulled off the upset. So,
well, Kelly's had a couple of weird matches this season.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested to see the battle whenever that goes up.
Absolutely, see what happened there.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have the Free State Torcats and the Los Angeles Landeras.
This is definitely a weird one, as you guys may or may not be aware of. The Free State Torcats have recently been involved in probably the scandal of the century as far as draft leagues, as far as the spirit of the rules type of situation. Essentially, for those of you guys who aren't aware or may be aware of it, the spirit of the rules situation, there is a layer of ethics when it comes to our battling structures or whatnot. And the Free State Torcats did not in any way violate any pre-existing stated rules for the NPA bylaws. They did, however, violate the spirit of the rule in their procedure of being able to turn back a game and make sure to win a weak match a couple matches ago. And this has been kind of a big issue. The reason why I'm talking about this now is because I wasn't on the last week's show. So pardon me, Lynx, for bringing this back.
You're all good.
And this was definitely the issue of the season, in my personal opinion. It was the issue of basically an ancient power baton pass on to Kartana. And that is where it got fugly. All right, things got lit up in here. I mean, it was one of those type of things that just, definitely made you just like hold your beer and just see what happened. I mean, and I was watching that, and it was one of those that I actually got a call about this before the battle even posted or whatnot, because right after the match happened, the Rochester Rhydons were definitely getting a little as they should be upset about this situation, because it was definitely a poor ethics move. This is not a diss against Duncan, by the way. This is just he found a great way to circumvent the rules and do a legal play. But at the same time, we both understand that it was definitely a low blow kind of situation. He was able to circumvent the rules of no speed plus passing, which essentially blocks out a Pokemon in Showdown being able to have a guaranteed buff with a guaranteed buff for speed and a guaranteed buff for any other extra stats to be able to actually pass that onto Kartana, which is a scary Pokemon to get a speed plus pass on. It's one of the reasons why you have to, in Generation 7, block out speed plus passing because of Kartana. It's just a Pokemon that speed plus passing turns into a absolute nightmare. And if you can get like a Shell Smash off, or even better yet, get off a something like an Ancient Power, where you're just you can't do anything at that point. You just sit there and just die. And that's what happened whenever the Rhydons played. This being the situation, the Free State Torcats have been on a bit of a roll recently. They used that play to get rid over the Rhydons, and then last week they got over the Pelipers too. They've been playing on point. Duncan's finding his stride. He's getting involved. He's getting things going. I personally have to give it to Duncan Kneedeep this week, just because of the fact that I don't care what you want to say. You could say, oh, it was just a mid-situational play for him to do that, Ancient Power pass. But I'm just gonna tell you right now, that is a planned play. Okay, I don't care what you're smoking in there. That's a planned play. You don't just pull that kind of thing mid game randomly and just go, oh, this actually happened. Well, I mean, let's do that. It's a planned situational play that can occur. It's obviously not guaranteed to occur because Ancient Power is only a 10% play, but it was definitely a planned play in which RNG is very highly involved, and Duncan Kneedeep did the work to make sure he had the right situational move to be able to take advantage of the rules. And I'm telling you right there, that's a scary situation in itself. It's already hard enough to win a battle, but it's even harder to win a battle against a lawyer. I say Free State Tour gets to get the win here.
All right, so yeah, I agree with you that Free State is going to win. And it's not so much the teams that I see, as the reason. It's just because Jerry Oak is on a decline. I mentioned this last week. He just seems like defeated when something doesn't go his way, and he didn't do this purposely last week, but he hacks Jodor to hell and back, and you can kind of say that's the only reason why he won, but it's really hard to tell, if he had the right plays or anything like that. But Jodor played an amazing game. They both played an amazing game. You play the battle as it happens. But under normal circumstances, Jerry Oak doesn't win that battle, and I think it's the same thing here. It's just the level of play right now. Duncan is on the rise. Duncan is finding himself back into the playoff race. And
more importantly, he's also just making sure that like I said, he's because of him, we're having to readjust the rules mid-season, and it's that kind of mentality and dedication to the game that allows you to be able to have an advantage, and that's good stuff right there. That's good stuff on him.
Indeed, and what do the analysts say about this battle? Is it mixed?
It's mixed, but I mean it is strongly in favor of Free State. We're looking at 5-2 in favor of Free State on this one.
All right, so could be a good battle. Jerry Oak could very well pull this battle off. Anyone who is out of the playoff race, you have to be careful because they could just come in and surprise you with the craziest of things. So you have to be on top of your game.
Exactly. They just kind of just pull out the wild stuff, so to speak.
Yeah. At that point they have nothing to lose. So
now, if I'm correct, the trade deadline's already passed, so we're not having to deal with any one-stop wreck shops as far as someone trying to build a perfect team 1 week just to be able to crush someone's playoff hopes.
Yeah, I think this week is the last week actually. And I know T-Train made some during his bye week last week, so.
Right, and that's a big important thing to understand is that once the trade deadline passes, we no longer find ourselves in a situation where one of the bottom feeder teams can basically put themselves in a situation where they do decide to spoil someone's playoff chances intentionally by basically sabotaging their team for the rest of the season, but by picking up the Pokemon they need to be able to body bag a certain person's team.
Right.
Which has happened in other leagues in the past. That's a very important reason why we have our shutdown point when we have our shutdown point for the trades.
Yep. All right, so moving on here, we have the New Orleans Pelipers versus the Miami Dolphins.
This is going to be an interesting game right here, only in the fact that we're going to see just a new way for Pokemon to open up a can of WA. I'm telling you right now. Pokemon is, look, he had a rough week last week. He played against the Free State Torcats. It was, a late week battle. It may have thrown him off because he was playing at such a later point than he was originally planning to. But overall, Pokemon's been having probably one of his better seasons as far as league play so far. It's important to note that. You got to remember, Pokemon's a guy who usually is a fringe player as far as playoffs in most of his leagues. And really doesn't shine too much amongst his normal league contentions. Now, this season, he has definitely been doing that so far. He's been able to stay on point, keep up with the leaders, and this is going to be definitely a week for him to get himself into a better, even playoff position. And to be honest with you, he's got a string of 3 games in a row that are very winnable for him going forward. I think this is going to be a time for Pokemon to be able to solidify a strong playoff spot if he can start off fresh against Miami and then go on to Iowa and Hampshire and really put himself into a true playoff spot. It's very possible for Pokemon to win 3 straight games right here and get himself into a solidified spot here.
Yeah. So the thing is with Kyle didn't battle last week. He was having difficulties. He's moving, as most people know. So he moved out of his house and he basically didn't have access to Wi-Fi, couldn't get the battle up in time, and other personal things, right?
And even more than that, he's actually having even more problems this week with his actual current home situation. we already know this from what we've been hearing around the rumor mill. This is not us trying to post rumors or start talk, but he is definitely having a struggle so far as being able to get that shiznickel handled, and so that's what we're seeing right now. And we believe it will. If he does end up being able to play this week, it's definitely going to be at a lesser version of himself than we would hope it to be. At least as far as I would think.
I would think so too. I would assume that he's not going to be live calming. I don't know if he's going to have access to calc or anything like that, but this is going to be a rough one just because Kyle hasn't gotten going with his team this season. Like, he really doesn't feel. I don't think he has a feel of how a Reign team is supposed to be. And to be honest, I don't think he really wanted a Reign team to start with, but because he had what I think the last pick in the draft, he was just kind of almost stuck with it, basically.
It was one of those kind of things where he was I guess you would say the generic OP strategies in the draft had already been taken at his point in the draft, where the Victinis, the Kieran Blacks, all those kind of jiggity jazz have already been stolen at that point, where he's basically having to make a splash at the last pick at that point.
Pun intended.
Yeah, literally. And so he at that point, I believe, went Reign team as an ability to put his team on the map going through the rest of the draft. It was probably, and to be honest with you though, a gimmick-based team, and I say gimmick-based team not to diss the strategy of Reign team, but it is a gimmick-based team. It revolves around you being able to either A, have your opponent overcommit to prep against the Reign, or B, be able to actually utilize the Reign mid-game. Kyle has been able to do neither of those two this season, and it's not to his discredit. It's a rough situation to do. To be honest with you, his non-Reign team Pokemon are not exactly the kind of Pokemon you want as your non-Reign team members. They're a little bit more passive or too glassy. You know, for instance, Cresselia is a great Pokemon to have, but being for those weeks he doesn't want to have a Reign team, it's a little bit too passive to be able to stretch off from the start. If we're playing in a league that has a lot more novice players in it, Cresselia, you can just drop her on first turn, start calm minding up, and then win the game. But you can't always do that in a bigger format league such as this, where players are putting in some serious dedication and work going forward. Kyle, he's got a tough road ahead of him. He's moving. He's taking care of his personal stuff. He's taking care of his house that he's trying to get rid of right now. It's a struggle. What Kyle needs right now is a blanket, a nap, and about five hugs. So I'll give him a hug this week.
And he needs some Brisk lemonade.
Yes, that too.
But yeah, going forward, as you were mentioning with John, he has 3 matchups that favor him going forward, so that could put him strongly in the playoff, or that can almost solidify his playoff position, and he needs every single one of them. He can't afford to not have his strongest teams every single match. He has to play each and every single battle like as though he was fighting for his playoff life.
Correct, because he does have a hard match the last week game of the season against Rochester, and if I was him, I would not put myself in a situation where you have to beat Rochester to get in the playoffs.
I think he either needs to be in the playoff, or he needs to be able to basically say, I'm going to solidify everything myself. Like, I don't want to rely on anyone needing to get 6-0'd or lose their battle for me to be in. Like, it should only rely on me winning or losing for me to get to the playoffs. And correct. I think if he wins his next 3 battles, he does that.
Yes, absolutely. That's my opinion as well, too.
Yeah.
But as far as this week goes, I have a strong feeling it's going to end up being New Orleans Pelipper just because of the circumstance outside of the team itself.
Right.
Circumstance usually can actually win a lot more battles than teams. It's the strangest thing, but it works.
I mean, when you're not on your A game, you're not on your A game.
True story. Let's move on.
All right, we have the Rochester Rhydons versus the Minnesota Vicovolts.
In my opinion, possibly the game of the week in many respects. Reason why Minnesota has been playing very solid, and they actually did something last week that I thought never could be done in a league battle. They were able to have Vicovolt pull off 6 kills.
Can we possibly say Vicovolt needs to be moved up a tier because of this?
No, I would never say that.
All right. I just wanted to joke around with that.
Obvious. I hope so. But here's the thing: is that Vicovolt is a Pokemon that has just stupid awesome, special attack, but it's a very limited move pool and it's weak to rocks. For Dan to be able to have that much control of a game, to be able to actually activate it and get it going, and be able to safely navigate it to 6 kills, I'm shocked. I'm floored in so many ways. But I'm even more shocked when you look over the United Kingler's lineup against it and you just realize just how good Vikavolt stacked against what he actually brought. I mean, what he actually brought, it's just silly how I mean, you just understand why instantly why Vikavolt ran through the team. And look at it. You got Chatot, Alola, Mola, Mega Gyarados, all sitting weak to those electric attacks. And then you have Latios weak to any kind of bug attack. I'm telling you, it didn't make sense when I first thought about it, but then all of a sudden, you look over what happened in the battle, you look over what was actually brought by the Kinglers, and you're like, wow. I mean, he basically just opened a lane for Vikavolt.
So you're not going to mention that he still hasn't lost a battle since picking up Goodra?
No, not at all. I don't get me wrong. I am in love with the fact that he did make that pick, but I'm not going to keep burying a dirty hatchet, because that's a dirty hatchet that I'm burying in the sand right now.
Right.
But right, I mean, the Goodra pickup, I mentioned it several weeks ago. It's been the mid-season pickup of the year, as far as my opinion. It gave him the tools that he needed, and I wasn't going to mention it again. But you know what? You got to start.
I wanted to know. I just wanted to know. It's like, I know you love you some Goodra, so.
Well, that's not so much that. It's just that I love what it does for his team as far as being able to operate off of it. That's what it is.
Yeah, it does make as we mentioned many times in the past few weeks, it makes a great defensive core for him. It kind of basically finishes his defensive core.
Basically. And it just allows him what he needs to do to move forward in any matchup. It's great.
Yeah. So the thing is with this matchup here, it's a toss-up. It's kind of who brings what in this battle. Like, when I've gone back and forth between, the two teams, and I honestly don't know who's going to win. Like, I think I put Minnesota to win this battle, but honestly, I have no idea. It really will come down to who brings what team. They're both going to prep amazingly, as they always do.
Right.
It's just
here's the big question mark right here. Assault Vest Goodra. Can Assault Vest Goodra tank enough hits? That's my prediction right there. It's gonna be very important if Assault Vest Goodra can take enough hits. On the Big Pump side, he's got to be able to operate Galvantula freely. Galvantula is in a situation in this matchup where he actually does have a very good matchup against a very good part of his team. Remember, Galvantula stacks up very well against Pokemon like Barbarical Shaman, Vaporeon. These are 3 Pokemon that it has a very good shot against, as well as Pokemon like Necrozma. This is a Pokemon that if the right situation happens right here, Dan is going to be forced in a situation where he's having to prep against Kieran Black and Florges being able to operate as a combo. Therefore, Galvantula could find itself with a little bit more lane room to operate in. This is going to be kind of the question mark right here as far as my opinion. Is the Galvantula going to come, and if it does, will it be able to operate as freely as I predict it will? I believe that Galvantula is the key for Rochester being able to actually pull a win right here, and pull not only a win, but also a very thorough win. Yeah, it's going to be kind of one of those tight.
Yeah, one thing One thing I'm noticing is that, as you were mentioning about Galvantula, early in the season, we were harping about him needing sticky webs to win. And we haven't had to say that because he hasn't needed it majority of the season.
Correct.
The issue I'm looking at right now is that, as you mentioned, Kieran Black and Florges, well, Alolan Sandslash kind of has a decent matchup in this battle if he can pull off the hail. And I think if he were to get up sticky webs, he may be able to negate that somewhat, and then have like maybe a Choice Scarf Embor come in, or maybe he just has Chestnut, which is defensive, come in with a Drain Punch. He has things that scare away Alolan Sandslash. He just needs everything to go in the right direction. As we mentioned most weeks, Alolan Sandslash is Dan's only way to remove hazards. So this could be a great week for webs to come, and just to slow down Sandslash and force it to rapid spin.
I could definitely see. This is definitely gonna be a rough matchup as far as just what the choices for Big Pum. If Big Pum really wants to, if I was Big Pum, I would. In addition to yes, I would look for a sticky opportunity early game, but preserve the Galvantula and then try to move toward a secondary hazard stack.
Yeah.
Preferably, believe it or not. I mean, rocks would be fun, but at the same time, I would prefer actually going with spikes from Fortress, just for that consistent damage, regardless of whatever, because it'll actually help him out a little bit more versus Pokemon like Sandslash, as far as in the long game run and whatnot. If you can get us, 2 layers down, then we're in a really super protective situation. I feel like Fortress could be a very helpful, utilitarian pick right here, especially being that Dan. The Infernape gets brought a lot in a lot of these matches, and HP Fire is obviously a common play for any of his Pokemon, but it's one of those where I feel like this could be very important for him if he can get multiple layers of hazards down and then just go off of the powerhouse of maybe a speed-based Galvantula or a speed-based other Pokemon on his roster, maybe a Choice Scarf Kyurem Black coming in late game to wop the chickens.
Yeah, like I was saying, this is really a difficult one to toss up. You picked Dan as well to win this battle?
I picked Dan as well just because, like I said, it's been the year of the Goodra, man. It's been the perfect utilitarian backup pivot play for Dan, and I feel like he's going to be able to utilize it once more. If he uses Assault Vest Goodra this week, I feel like there's very little that Big Pump can do to actually break him. And that's kind of the big thing that you got to understand right there is that, Assault Vest Goodra eats up hits from Pokemon like Florges. I mean, I know myself. I've tried to kill. I've tried even with investments in Florges. Even after like one Calm Mind.
Yeah, it's still like a 3-hit KO.
Exactly. Assault Vest Goodra just sits there and just laughs at you, and you're just sitting there like, would you freaking die? Just one of those Pokemon.
And he has a great partner in Wish Pass Vaporeon, so it could just sit on the field the entire battle.
Pretty much. That's kind of the question mark right here is how Dan utilizes it going forward.
And this is why it's a toss-up battle in my mind. I can honestly see Palm coming away with like a 3-0 victory or Dan coming away with a 3-0 victory. I mean, the analysts are not necessarily split. It's a 5-2 in favor of Dan, but I think everybody is expecting this to be probably the battle of the week.
It's definitely as far as what it could be. Definitely the most up in the air matchup.
Yeah. All right. So next matchup we have the Chicago Cubchus versus the Pittsburgh Pichus.
What happens whenever you have a Pokemon like Lele and you just want to see someone destroy it? Well, what you do is you take a Pokemon like Mega Metagross and just stare him in the face and go, "Hey, you want to get Meteor Mash, son?" No, that's basically that's basically can sum up everything about what this pick is going to be. Now, obviously, Chicago has not really been, able to get Mega Metagross fully operating, and that's kind of been the case for a lot of these guys as far as having their heavy hitter Pokemon or their big chicken Pokemon. The one that you're just like, oh yeah, he's there. I'm saying that bad boy's there. He's just bad and bougie up in there, man. I can't even get near him, man. And you're just like, oh man, that's that Pokemon right there. I gotta get away from him. But that's what happens with a lot of these Pokemon is they get over prepped for, utilized for, overplayed around, or over pivoted, and really you don't really operate off of them. That's what happens with Mega Metagross so far this season. But he's been very successful at being able to utilize Mega Metagross in his winning column games. This is the question mark for Galactic Elliott, though. This is going to be a big week for him. Arcanine Mega Metagross, I feel like, puts significant Lele pressure on the game. He also has Seismitoad and Tentacruel and that Pangoro for him, which actually I believe Pangoro either gets Pangoro does get Bullet Punch, correct? But we're not going to see Bullet Punch for this week. We're probably going to see instead, is it Gunk Shot that gets or Poison Jab? It's one of those two.
Gunk Shot.
Gets Gunk Shot. Yeah. We're going to see Gunk Shot with Pangoro this week if Pangoro comes. Probably if Pangoro does end up coming, potentially a Scarf variant on Pangoro for the ability to be able to surprise a Lele possibly.
All right, and just for record, it does get Bullet Punch as well.
Yes, it does get Bullet Punch, but it wouldn't be rocking.
No, it's not. I don't think it's going to carry it this week, just because it almost doesn't have a need to, or it shouldn't. there's another move slot that could be run just because Lele and the psychic terrain.
Exactly. That's the big question mark right here. Is that whenever you're playing Lele, you obviously you still don't want to fully give up the priority, but you definitely back off the priority when you know Lele's coming.
Yeah. I really don't see much to really comment about this matchup, just because Galactic Elliot's team and the way he's been using his team all season, and because he has Mega Metagross, it just looks at Nexus's team and says, what are you gonna do? Well, he has Entei, but so what? He has other Pokemon in the back to stop Entei.
Right.
There's Seismitoad is there to stop Entei. I mean, he'd bring a special Seismitoad just to stop it, but I just don't see anything Nexus could do. Quagsire maybe wants to come in and maybe, I don't even know if check is the right word, but maybe it's the right word to check Mega Metagross, but
it would definitely help because remember, I believe it gets Earthquake and also Quagsire with Unaware.
It's the
if
Meteor
Mega
Mashes,
Metagross, if Meteor Mash gets like 1 or 2 Meteor Mashes up, all of a sudden, we do still have the Quagsire in the back, has a super effective hit. Boom, shakalaka, and just go from there. That could be a question right there. It could be just a flop. We'll just have to see, guys.
Yeah. There's, outside of that, you said everything, and I really don't think there's much else to say. Unfortunately, Nexus, as we say every week, is not having the best of seasons.
Yeah.
But I think he has potential to pull some upsets with, coaches towards the end of his season or towards the end of the season trying to maybe get for a higher playoff position, and he has some favorable matchups.
If that's going to be the case, though, he's going to have to drop the Mesprit and find a better way to spread his typing around. He has the Lele. He doesn't need a Mesprit. It's just my personal opinion. And he hasn't used Mesprit, very much. It's a situation where you have a slot open that, yes, I know it's hard to say goodbye to a 580 base stat total Pokemon, but you already have a superior Pokemon in Lele for that type. Drop it, move on.
All right. So, analysts are saying this is a clean sweep for Chicago.
Correct.
And let's just move on to the next one. The Hampshire Haunters versus the Colorado Rapidash.
Can I do it? Can I do it?
Go ahead.
Moonlight Swami! Listen, man, I'm a fan. I'm telling you guys, it's like Dirty Dan, baby. We had a rough situation about 4 weeks ago where my boy didn't really show up that week. He showed up, but he didn't really show up. So I got a little mad at him in the comment section. And you know what happened? He came back after his bye week and dropped the biscuits. He dropped the gravy. He said, "Listen, I'm getting shady." And this is what's happening with Moonlight Swami. He's going to come up in here, and he's getting ready to drop the McNuggets on the Hampshire Haunters, okay? I don't know how it's going to happen this week. I'm excited to see how it happens. You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction this week. I'm going to go off my medication and make a bold prediction this week.
Wait.
You want to know what's going to happen?
You're normally on medication?
No, I'm not on medication at all. I'm just joking around.
Because I was like, if you were going off, you said you're going off your medication.
You thunder stealing chicken. There was a thunder right there getting ready to hit. And speaking of thunder, we all know about Hampshire Haunters' big offensive 3 and their combined clustered weakness. You remember this? What I've been telling about this all season? Correct, Lynxy, right?
Yep.
The big 3 as far as offensive pressure Pokemon from Goofy's Enigma's team: Volcanion, Crobat, and also Manaphy, all weak to electric attacks. This week, Rotom Heat comes from Moonlight Swami. Rotom Heat has been a very well-used Pokemon, a very frequently used Pokemon this season, and this will be a week that he actually brings out the Rotom Heat and bops a couple of chickens. I'm predicting 2 kills off of Choice Scarf Volt switches from Rotom Heats. Now, the big question is, what about the Virizion? I don't think Virizion comes this week, even though Virizion, it would be a very helpful Pokemon to be able to help deal with Manaphy. Say Manaphy is using Z Rain Dance this week, you could use a Choice Scarf Virizion to still outspeed it after 1 Z Rain Dance. It's a very effective tactical play. I think that Moonlight Swami could operate with it, but the question is, does he want to sacrifice a Pokemon slot for Virizion, a Pokemon he's only used really, as far as I'm aware of, once this season. Is that correct? Linksy?
I believe so.
But the thing is, guys, is that this could be the situation that you use it in. Nobody wants to have to deal with a Z Rain Dance Manaphy. This is a Virizion does give him an opportunity to be able to have a Pokemon that he does help deal with it even after it's a Z Rain Dance situation is up, to where he's able to actually still have a Pokemon that outspeeds it with a Choice Scarfed Virizion. This could be the week it happens. I personally think Rotom Heat is a guarantee this week, as well as a Mew rocking some type of electric attack going forward. How do we say boom shakalaka? We call it Moonlight Swami. He's getting ready to drop about a 4-0 on this guy's head.
Okay, because you said 4-0, I will agree with you on that. Because I was going to say that Gophis has one Pokemon that can match up very well in this one, and that's going to be Durant. Choice Scarf Durant with Superpower, Rock Slide, X Scissor, and fourth move, I don't know, Aerial Ace maybe, just for the Virizion if he thinks it's coming.
Right.
It's a good Pokemon that matches up. The issue is Weezing stops it. Rotom Heat, if it's going to be Choice Scarf, I mean, well, if he's choice locked into something, Rotom Heat, automatically just says, I'm coming in to hit you hard, so you need to leave if you're not locked into Rock Slide. So
correct.
I think Durant comes in and gets a couple kills.
Durant will be it's been one of the few saving graces of the season so far for Gophis Enigma, and this is not a diss, Gophis. You've been able to utilize Durant in a very effective manner, and I've liked the way you've done it. I really have. I mean, be able to take a Pokemon with an X4 weakness, a Pokemon that gets overlooked a lot, but a Pokemon that still has a surprisingly good attack, defense, and also, more importantly, a speed stat, and be able to utilize it. You've done very well with it as far as making it a very effective killer in your roster, but it's been really one of your only Pokemon that's actually shined brighter than it really should. Manaphy's been a little underperforming this season as far as being able to go toe-to-toe. It's been partially because of just having to put extra pressure on Manaphy in the situations where you use Manaphy.
Yeah, I just don't think Manaphy has a team around it to basically shine the way it should.
Well, the biggest issue is that, like I said, the big targets on the roster, as far as consistent offensive pressure, are all Pokemon that share the weakness of electricity with Manaphy. Durant and Mienshao do have offensive pressure available to them, but they are not. I would not put them on the same tier as far as natural pressure, or as far as I would say neutralized natural pressure, as Volcanion, Crobat, and Manaphy. At least my opinion. Yes, Mienshao, HJK, Reckless is very scary, but I just don't put it on the same type of level as far as consistent, direct offensive pressure.
I got you. But as far as the analysts go, this is another clean sweep. Basically, Colorado sweeps up and keeps Swami in the playoff hunt. And
jeez, playoff hunt, more like playoff gank. No, I kid around, but Moonlight Swami, don't let me down, bro. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, or I will hunt you down. You understand me right now? Do not let me down. Anyway, that was just a friendly message from Moonlight Swami. Anyway, I'm now going to go get a lawyer.
Alright, so next up, we have the Seattle Staraptor versus the Munchlaxter United.
Yo, is Bubbalicious in this battle? Bubbalicious in this battle, isn't he?
He is.
Man, Bubbalicious, he's so cool. No, for you to be able to hop in this season and be able to deal with a situation where you are, dealing with a surgically repaired team, and you've done your job so far. You took a dumpster fire team, a team that had no chance in Mexico of operating. You surgically repaired it. You kept the Kamala, and you've put yourself in a situation where you have been able to operate and pick up 3 straight wins. Dude, give me a high five right now. Where are you at, Bub Alicious? Give me a high five right now. Your efforts are applauded. Your efforts are good. I want to give you a hug and a sandwich. All right, can I do that for you? Can you give me a hug and a sandwich?
All right, let me just ask you real quick. Which Pokemon did he keep?
Komala.
And I think I was the one that told him to keep Komala. Just saying.
You were.
Okay.
You were.
All
Just want to make sure it's understood right there.
Yep.
Here's the thing, though.
And he got a kill last week. So.
Here's the thing, though. Bubblicious had a timer. His last two opponents, though, have been, well, I hate to say this.
I'm
Duke
so
City
happy. I'm so happy you went that route because I was actually going to go that route.
You're wanting me to take the fire hit?
Yeah,
right now?
yeah, I am.
Okay, I'll do the flame wheel.
All right.
Come on. I mean, look, Adelaide, Duke City, you guys, you need some bacon. You need some bacon. Let's get you some bacon. That's all I'm going to say right now. I couldn't go that low. I couldn't go that low, Lynx. I couldn't go that low. I'll do it real fast. Dumpster fire. But so basically, Bubblicious has had 2 straight wins against teams that have had very, very rough seasons. But then in his previous one before that was against Chicago, a very solidified team, definitely in the playoff hunt. More relying upon the draft style as well as being overpowered or whatnot. But he's able to get a timer win against Chicago in a matchup where, to be honest with you, Chicago would have ended up winning that match had the timer, if it was a showdown battle, I believe Chicago would have won that match. I don't remember 100%, but I believe that was the consensus. The consensus was that if this was an untimed match, Chicago would have won that match just because of what the situation was.
Yeah.
But so that's the question mark here. Is this going to be another big challenge for Bubblicious?
This is kind of what I'm seeing. So Bub came in week 4 and took over. He had his first battle against Choice Specs.
Right.
And up until the end of the battle, Bub was trying to climb back. He managed to win, but he was trying to climb back. Now that's you give him some grace because that's his first week with a new team. The second week he played T-Train. He basically got destroyed 5-0.
Right.
Then he played Elliot to timer.
Mm-hmm.
You can call that iffy, as you were saying. Had it been a longer battle without a timer, Elliot would have won. Mm-hmm. Then he played Crest. Well, he didn't play Crest because Crest had to take a forfeit win. And then he played Skylar only to a 2-0.
And I hate to say this, but Skylar's been a coach that's been handing out 6-0s this season. So I mean, for you to be in a situation, I'm not every week in a 6-0, but he's definitely been
he's been
team
giving a lot of points for those who's looking to get in a good position for the playoffs.
Put it that way. That's a very good way to put it. He's been offering free differential boosters.
Right. So my thing is, and Bub, I love you. You know I do. You're my boy. You've been helping me out with some other stuff. The thing is, with the 5 games I think it is he's played, he's only really played 2 strong opponents, and one was a timer, and the other he just got bopped in. So the question is this a team Bub is 100% comfortable with? And can he prove that his record is deserving? And
to be honest with you, yeah, exactly. It's just one of those where it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And I don't mean that as a disrespect to Bub. Bub, I love you. Give me a high five. We'll hang out later. But at the same time, you know the situation. You're playing with a surgically repaired team. It's about one misclick away from being a dumpster fire. It really is, and it's one of those where you've done the work to make it operational during the season. You've done a great job. Thing is that your overall team is going to have a little bit of a problem if you can't if Mega Pincer can't get running early and often in this game. It's going to be a very rough situation, I believe. And the reason why is because of what is sitting on Gearhart's bench. Gearhart does have things like Mamoswine. It does have things like Electrode if he really wants to run that route and be a little cray-cray. He does have Pokemon that can take hits and deal out damage. It's a situation where Gearhart's been very careful about playing a patienter game. And when Gearhart did play, several of the opponents that Gearhart, he's coming off of a 5-0 loss.
Yeah, but that's the Chris Cobain, so
it's the Chris Cobain. It's not to a team that shoved their head in the dumpster on week 1 and said let's eat gravy. Which, by the way, no coach in this league is done. I just want to make sure you understand that. There is no coach who did that week 1, but I'm just saying, Chris Cobain is no slouch. He is a contender for a championship this season, and
Probably a favorite.
Well, don't you be talking back when I tell me.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
Don't you be talking. Don't you be talking. I will find you. I will find you in the Alps.
All right. But yeah, go ahead and finish.
No, but basically, going forward, we feel like Gearhart definitely, as long as he's bringing his regular charisma, his regular patience as far as game, as far as making that long-term committed setup play, as far as working toward a win, I feel like Gearhart, being that he has an actual real team and not a surgically repaired team, should be able to pull it out and get the win here.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not saying that Bub can't win. I just think it's more likely that Gearhart takes control of the battle early on and just wins it.
Correct, because like I said, he has the team that actually was drafted for a concise plan, versus Bub, who was just trying to gambit together Pokemon that could actually potentially work together out of a remaining pool of Pokemon.
Right. All right. Next up, we have the Seattle Sea Kings versus the New York Clinks.
Can I just say right now, Jodor, rip his head off.
Wait, whose head?
What?
Whose head?
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying rip his head off.
Rip whose head off?
The Clinks head off.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Who? Wait, did you think I was talking about you?
Yeah.
Why would I have you rip your head off?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Listen, you're my friend.
Thank you.
You're my friend, and I respect you. I don't want your head getting ripped off.
All right, thank you.
This is not Mortal Kombat.
I haven't played that in a while. All right.
Anyway, but no, the Clinks have had, another one of these strange kind of seasons. Surprisingly enough, though, it's been a whack kind of season. But as far as their record does not reflect the team, I believe, in my personal opinion. They've been playing to small differential losses all season long, and when they're 1-6 with an only -4 differential, look, they're playing better than they actually look on record. But the thing is that I believe Jodor, with the Lando T's, is going to be able to take control and just be able to shut down the potential big Pokemon on Papa C's roster and move forward with a victory.
Wait, did you say? Okay, sorry. I was thinking one thing and I heard you say something. I was like, wait, did he just go against what I was saying or about to say? No, sorry. Okay, so the thing is, the analysts are very split in this matchup for very good reason. It's 4-3 in favor of Jodor. Papa C has the skills, he has the team.
And like I said, his record does not reflect his level of play this season. He's been playing solid. It's just that he's been getting, hit there, and where T-Train has been able to overcome, everything in the world and be able to, play on chaos mode with an expert rating. The Clinks are just falling short a little bit here or there.
Right, and he has the skills to. I don't even know if you would call this an upset. Would you call? I mean, based on record, you would call this an upset. But
on record, you would, but I wouldn't say it. I would say as far as skill, these guys are even.
Yeah, they're even, and Papa C, no one should be surprised if Papa C were to come in and pick up maybe like a 4-0. I'm not saying that's what I predict to happen because I'm picking Jodor, but this is one to where you just have to sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy the battle because it is going to be a great ride.
Big question mark here is, like I said, it's going to be the Lando T set. Lando T is going to want to have an Earthquake on this roster, being able to deal with Jirachi and being able to deal with Klefki very quickly from the stretch. The big question also is going to be, what are those other 3 moves going to be? I predict there's going to be at least one rock type move, preferably a rock slide over a stone edge, just because I'm not a really big fan of the 80% over 90%, just because it scares me. But I feel like this is definitely going to be a big week for Landeras Therian if it's going to be a Seattle win. It's going to be probably, we're talking about if Seattle wins, I'm predicting 3+ kills for Lando T.
So what kind of set are you predicting?
To be honest with you, if I was going to be rocking Lando T in this game, I feel most confident rocking either a To be honest with you, I really just want to go with a Choice Scarf Lando set with Adamant Nature. To be honest with you,
yeah, I was thinking something similar. Maybe either a Choice Scarf or a Rock Polish. And it's kind of weird. Like, do you bring Rock Polish without Swords Dance, or that's the toss up for me right now? It's what do you bring? But I know you need to have one of those two, just because I'm like 90% sure Mega Alakazam is going to be carrying HP Ice for that thing.
Right.
And so, go ahead.
And like I said, yeah, Mega Alakazam top speed, I believe, is what, 438? Is it 438?
I don't know off the top of my head, sorry.
Well, I'm talking about level 100, so I mean,
I
don't
know off the top of my head. I can look it up real quick.
Why are you not memorizing this stuff? I've been telling you for weeks.
I have the memory of a 2-year-old.
Well, guess what? I was correct. It's 438 is the top speed. Boom! So you know, in order to beat out 438, actually can use an Adamant Nature, because Adamant Nature is 289 on a Landeras Therian level 100. And remember, I'm doing level 100. We battle level 50 as this one, so 289 times 1.5 actually should beat out 438. No, actually, it doesn't. It doesn't. You have to go modest in this one. What I come down to. I'm sorry, I am a horrible person because that's only 433 at my Adamant Nature. So it's going to have to be a speed plus nature for a Landeras Therian Choice Scarf this week.
All right. So let's drop this down to level 50s, because at level 50 he can still run a Choice Scarf with an Adamant Nature.
Probably, yeah. You're probably right. So yeah, this could be the case. This is why, you know, for me it gets a little confusing whenever I have to drop back from level 100 to level 50. Thank you, Lynxy.
I'll do the math real quick. You keep talking. How about that?
I love you.
All right, so I actually did just do the math, and no, he cannot run an Adamant Nature if he's bringing Choice Scarf.
Told you.
Because Adamant Landeras T hits 143 max speed, and Mega Alakazam hits 222. So you're looking at 214 and 215 for Landeras T Choice Scarf Adamant. So he needs to either run Jolly or he needs to run or Rock Polish. The issue is if he runs Jolly, there's a small chance that Mega Alakazam can live a U-turn or a knockoff. I mean, he can't. I don't think he lives an Earthquake. It's a 99% chance, or 99 minimum, that that Alakazam is taking.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, you know, Alakazam is made of glass. It really is.
It really is.
So I mean, it's one of those. All he has to do is get a hard hit against him, and boom, shakalaka. Like I said, sadly he can't rock an Adamant Nature, but you know, at the same time, it should be able to do the job if he has something he can figure out. You know?
But I mean, if Jodor is running calcs like this and he's looking at this and saying, "Well, if I need to be adamant to guarantee maybe an Oko on Mega Alakazam, maybe he does run Rock Polish, or maybe he does run Double Dance just because he needs to, like Earthquake knockoff. I don't know, but
right.
He needs to be able to outspeed that Alakazam no matter what."
That's a good point there, Lynxy. But as far as this goes down to it, it's gonna be one heck of a game. I think that the key matchups are gonna be, you know, definitely the Mega Alakazam and definitely the Landeras Therian. We could see a surprise play from one of the other fringe Pokemon on the roster, but I feel like the big guns are gonna be what wins the battle here in this game.
Yeah. So next up on the matchups, we have the Duke City Doublades versus the Waterloo Sawsbucks. I know you don't have anything good to say about this matchup, so.
Dude, let's put it this way. That's my commentary.
Okay, that's your commentary.
No, I'm messing around. You know, Waterloo's definitely been showing some improvements here or there. You know, they picked up a win last week against Tampa Bay Lux Rays. Another team that's been kind of in kind of a weird kind of, you know, they were here one week and they're not here in like the next 3 weeks kind of funk. But as far as, you know, things have been going, Waterloo's been definitely making some positive improvements over the course of the season. They actually do have two wins. Now, you know, it's just one of those kind of things where I think Old School Sin, if he keeps his biscuits going, he should be able to get a win this week. He's got the team. He really does have a decent-looking team on paper. He really does. Skylar is it's weird because Skylar is a Pokemon with a team that actually did have I believe one of the top 6, definitely one of the top 3 drafts. I mean, I remember we talked about him like right after the draft, and we were just like, this is a good draft.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been able to make it work, and his spirit's broken this season to where, when your spirit's broken, your spirit's broken. I mean, it's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, it's just the way it works. And I feel for him, but it's one of those where there's just no way around it. Skylar's spirit's broken. I believe Waterloo still has some spirit left. Waterloo gets the win here, just off spirit alone.
Yeah, I don't even think it's spirit alone. I think it's team alone that he gets it, because Choice Specs Hydreigon, dropping Dracos all day. The only thing to stop it, Slurpuff. So what? Slurpuff and Heatran, really. Everything else, you just drop a Draco on and come back and rinse and repeat. Correct.
And the thing is, though, if Old School Sin is able to utilize that while being able to have the melodic in the back for thickums, possibly even a Blissey for some passing action in the back, this could be a very just dominating performance right out the gate if he uses those for some thickum support.
I agree. And what are the analysts saying about this one?
Well, I mean, the analysts, like I said, I think they threw a rock against the wall whenever they're picking up this one right here.
They threw a dart at a board.
Yes, and we see 5 for Waterloo, and we see 2 for Duke City.
All right. Well, we can expect to see an interesting matchup. I don't think it's one that everyone is going to be waiting for it to come out. But
whoa, now.
Listen.
I am going to be waiting for this one all morning, just so I can watch it and say that happened. That match happened. I will be that first watch on that video. What's up?
I think if Sin is able to pull out this battle, I think this battle will mean more to Sin than it does to Skylar, even though Skylar getting a win would, I think, make him extremely happy. We may see him do backflips on camera if he were to pick up a win. But I think this battle will help Sin out more and make him a lot happier, because it will help him, gain some confidence, help him to understand what he needs to do going forward and in the next season and any other any other leagues he participates in.
Absolutely.
All right, so for our final matchup, we have the Tampa Bay Lux Rays versus the United Kingler.
Definitely, we have with United Kingler another situation of a guy trying to do surgery on a team, mid-season, and he's been able to do it very successfully. Thankfully, the coaches that have been able to come in and be able to start doing surgery on teams have done it in a very successful fashion, more so than you would normally expect someone to be able to do. It's very tough to do that. It's very tough to come in and be like, so what you gonna do? And you're just sitting there looking at the wall I have no clue right now. I really have no clue. And for him to be able to put together a 4-4 season so far, hey man, good on you. You've been doing your work. Good on you, Professor Willow.
All right, so there's this new thing called Willowism. Have you heard of it?
Is that where you throw a? No, I have not heard it. I was going to make something up. I just didn't hear it.
All right, so what Willowism is, if you have faith in your Pokemon, you will win. And apparently, Duncan has a lot of faith. Duncan has joined the Church of Willowism.
Wait. Is this like Yu-Gi-Oh's Heart of the Cards, but without paganism?
Probably.
Okay, so
either way, I think I am about to join the Church of Willowism, because Willow has pulled off some amazing things since joining. He's what, 3-2 or 4-2?
He's definitely doing the job. Let's put it that way.
He's doing the job. He's making things happen. His team, it's really defensive. He has a couple offensive hitters, but it's mostly defensive, kind of stally team. But he's been able to make it work. He's been able to bring different things, and I just think with this team and the exception, maybe not knowing how to play around it, maybe not bringing in the correct sets for certain things, that Willow is able to just have fun and throw some crazy shenanigans at him.
Yeah, that's really cool and all, but let's talk more of this Church of Willowism. I mean, Is there like, you know, regular services? I mean, do they you know, what do they do in this? I mean, how does one become a member of the Church of Willowism?
Talk to Willow.
Talk to Willow.
Talk to
Is
Willow.
he like a Buddha kind of leader, or is he like a spiritual advisor, or is
Honestly, I don't know, but there's a picture, and I think a couple people have used. I think Duncan maybe used it in a battle, but I know it's one of Willow's. I think it's his picture on Twitter. It's just basically him holding his hands out and like a white aura around it. If I can get it from Willow, I'll put it in this video.
You should definitely do that, because
it's like the funniest picture. I'm pretty sure Duncan put it in his video. Maybe Willow put it in one of his too.
Hey, don't you be making fun of their religion, okay?
I'm not making. I told you. I'm thinking about joining.
This is America. We have freedom of religion here, and
I'm
you know what?
thinking about joining.
They're probably getting ready to get tax exempt status next week. Okay, the Church of Willow will get tax exempt status next week.
If you guys have not heard about Willowism, go to his channel, go to his Twitter, and say, "Teach me the ways of Willowism."
Okay, and once you're officially a member, your dues are $4.25 a month, plus tax.
And send them straight to my bank account, please.
Yes. But guys, this has been the rundown for this week. We've essentially been talking about these matchups so far. As far as this matchup goes, this last one, we're going to have a lot of fun with it and see how things work out. Definitely two coaches have been doing some really fun things. I want to see the Kingler win, but it's been just definitely kind of a fun one overall. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed us talking and bologna sandwiching about this stuff and that we love talking about, which is Pokemon battles. Hope that you come back next week and yell at us some more in the comment section.
You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy all your battles. Be safe. Don't go on any crazy dates that last a week long.
Sorry.
And we're out of here, you guys.
Peace.